Blackwings take to the sky for another regional top. Don't make the 30% of you that have not smashed the living crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. Wow-wee. Cash-tira. You know, this deck really does love ruining other rogue players' fun out here. But that's fine. I mean, we expect this every single region. We also have Runic Sprite taking into the format here, which I'm not surprised to see that that deck is still doing good. We also had Branded, but this duelist didn't get their Cyberstorm access cards in time, which means that you can actually imagine the old tech choices that they'll be bringing to the table for this matchup, which is kind of cool, actually. Rika Trap Tricks. We've seen that before on this channel. We have Super Heavy Samurai as well. And, of course, Blackwings take to the sky for this top cut breakdown. And I'll be honest with you, I'm quite impressed by the amount of diversity and things that you're kind of seeing being brought to the table here. That's what you love to see. Let's pass on over to Decklist. Winning our event is, oh boy, you know, it's Cashed Hero every day. Now, this build did opt to actually play double Nightmare Corruptor Ibly, which I think is fine in the grand scheme of things, because, you know, handing this to your opponent if they're not playing Lingeribo is literally just kind of free real estate. And, of course, the Shifter Droll combination here, you know, being able to handle the multitude of different things in your main deck is pretty good. And I see that we are also playing Dark Ruler No More. You know, some of these boards actually get very scary out here. So having things like this to actually kind of clean up and alleviate some of the stress that those boards are going to make is actually pretty good. We're also siding the other Nightmare Corruptor Ibly, which I think is fine. But in terms of, you know, straightforwardness with this deck, it's been pretty good. I also see that we have one Ogre in here. You know, we're not playing the other Trap, which I think preparation's kind of fallen off at this point in time, and players have definitely kind of figured out more of the things that they want to go for. So, I guess good stuff to see Cashier still doing good. Next up here, we have the Divine Carnate. Ooh, yeah, it's actually just a tech choice here in our Cashier deck. Now, once again, this build opted to not play any copies of Droll and Lockware in the main deck. They're actually down here on the side. We have the Nightmare Corruptor Iblys that we can just hand on over to our opponent and smile. I see that we also can make the Baron in here. Honestly, you know, any one of your big guys plus Ash gets you there. We are opting to side the other copy of Ash, which I think is fine at the end of the day. And we are not playing the Lingeribo. No point. All right, if we get Nightmare Corruptor Ibly locked, that's fine. You know, we're not really expecting players out here to have, you know, such a detrimental part of our strategy against us. I have some books for defensive options, but I mean, like, in terms of defensive options, that's really it. But you do see, you know, Dark Willow No More. The things that you needed to see shift into the format here are already here. Next up here is Sprite Runic, Evil Twin, Laugh at Your Opponent. Now, the big thing about this is Runic Package facilitates your draw power. This gives you the ability to, you know, make monsters to control the opponent, which we're pretty used to seeing at this point in time. Sprite Package gives you a flow ability into the big guy. And then, of course, you have some Dark Ruler No Mores here to kind of clean up the mess that your opponent's going to leave on the field for you. Super Heavy Samurai making some very scary boards. I also like the fact that this build is actually opting for the Chaos Hunter down here, which is kind of interesting. And then, of course, I see that we had the Mannequin Cat and the Smashers here. And we are opting for the Grave of the Super Ancient Organism here. Another control card so that, you know, Cashier can't actually play the game against you. Yeah, I can't tell you the amount of times that, you know, Cashier is able to kind of set up here and then punish you. It's a very sad thing at the end of the day for what actually can happen, but I do think that it's overall pretty good. Also, shout out here to the Bysteals actually returning back. Next up here, you know, we did get some branded cards here. We did get a Quem. All right, don't be, you know, totally out of context here. We did get a Quem, and we do have one copy of the Malong here just to get access to. I mean, you target one face of card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. I mean, just if it's sent to the graveyard, it's not exactly like the most optimal target in the world, but you know, you can still do things. I also see that we are on ancient technology here. You know, the expulsion with the Ra's Disciple is still going to be like the secondary best way to do things. It's just, unfortunately, you know, the Gimmick Puppet sets the condition while, you know, your opponent can still kind of play around it. And of course, the Performance Form of Power 5 Rainbow Magician has kind of moved back in here and been a pretty good sport out here once again. So, not too bad overall for the deck, you know, minus the Lulu Walleth that they would want to play. It's fine. Next up here we have Blackwings, hauled up. So we're playing Small World in this deck, right? So basically anything can... Wait a minute. What is this doing here? Are we just simply playing this as a bridge gap? Also to be something that, you know, we could technically deploy this and have it be a monster effect negator? Yeah, we are actually seeing Cosmo Dark Lady out here in our Blackwing deck to be able to bridge the gap. I think that's hilarious, actually. It just proves, like, how much fun and innovation you can actually have with this deck and see all the cool different ideas that you can actually bring to the table here. And of course, I mean, still playing the rank up magic so you can make, you know, Kali King Yuga during your opponent's turn so you can smile at them as they can't actually do anything. It is the old basic strategy, and it really does get the job done. Alright, what else we got out here? Trap Tricks Rika. You know, we saw this deck a couple weeks ago as like the headliner out of the last regional that we covered here, and I was still very curious when we initially saw this. I was like, you know, what are we doing? Well, I mean, the little splash package of plant stuff actually kind of has a little bit underlining synergy for the deck, giving you the chance to kind of combo up and, you know, make access to, you know, Kanzashi here and the rest of the little packages that you can get. It's very interesting. Honestly, we're actually playing the Void Trap Hole down here. To be honest with you, Void has not seen a lot of play, but when you can kind of, you know, in a smaller regional like this, where you're able to kind of pull out some of these more random traps and actually have them effectively work for you, I think that that's kind of interesting overall. So, for what we're seeing here, deck looks pretty good. Also, I mean, sanctuming into the Lancea now, who needs a Scythe? You're still going to generate the same utility resources that you previously would have had here. We also have, oh boy, I should have just kept my mouth quiet, you know? I forgot that there was another Kashtira deck lurking back here. This build is playing the Thrust to be able to toggle into the Evenly Matched, which is fine. We also have, of course, the Triple Tactical Talents to laugh at the opponent as well. We have double Lance and double Book of Moon in here as well for some utility options to make sure that the opponent can't really do anything. And then, of course, I mean, you have the Dark Roll and No Mores down here. And the Econs. This build opted for no draw and Lockbirds, but you do see the Shifters returning back into the main deck here for the format shift. And, of course, a good old Lava Golem here to detour the opponent. I mean, be perfectly honest, outside of that, it still feels pretty good. I also like little Pinkertops down here. Shout out to this little guy. We haven't seen Pinkertops actually really do anything in quite some time, but the fact that this list, you know, did opt for the chance to include one copy in here kind of does showcase that you can kind of cover some bases out here. And of course, we also have, oh, Super Heavy Samurai. Okay, so we are playing the one Samurai Claw, which is fine. I'll be honest with you, majority of these builds do pretty much feel the same for what they're adding in. I mean, you get your little tech choices here and there, like, you know, we have some Kaijus in here. We are opting for the Soul Claw. And then, of course, we are citing the Ninja Sarutobi down here. And then we are actually opting for double Floodgates in the form of Anti-Spell here, and the summon limit for cards to kind of control the opponent. So we're also opting not to play Cyberstein, and there is no spell canceller in here either. So if you do, you know, like the Cleafor Genius play, you don't actually have the ability to search for the spell canceller because this duelist just opted not to play it. So little things to really consider out here. I mean, when you start getting into the tech choices, it becomes very interesting for what players actually kind of want to bring to the table here in terms of overall results. So overall, not too bad for this. We also had one more deck that bubbled, unfortunately. This is Bababoon in our Mana Diem list. So good old Bababoon on normal, splashing, draw a card, and then put one card from your hand on the bottom of the deck. And if it's destroyed, you can splash summon any number of Bababoons from your deck. So remember, you can, you know, pop both of these, you get, you know, 2 more. Also, I mean, you know, little monsters to step on in here for level 3 access. Kind of little cute, actually. But I see we're also playing a mini Merlin in here as well. Looks like this deck wants to do some pretty interesting little things, and actually I'm kind of about it. So what do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace out. patrons. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.